You may not have noticed it, but if you've been to Bricktown, you've seen it. It's the Miller-Jackson building. Still not ringing a bell? Well, it's where the Hooters is. That old brick building located at 115 East California Avenue is somewhat different from most of the other buildings down there, in that Jeff Brown is a fourth-generation owner.
In the Miller-Jackson building, well, I'm a Miller descendant. I'm fourth generation, and my sons who are just coming into the business will be fifth generation.
Indeed, that old red brick landmark has been a distribution warehouse for most of its structural life.
Back in the early 1900s, the only way for a manufacturer to get his goods to the American market was to try to establish a wholesale distributor, and it worked out as a pretty good system, the two-step distribution system, for many, many years.
Over the years, the Miller-Jackson Company warehoused and distributed all kinds of things, from hardware, housewares, and general merchandise from the turn of the century on through about the 30s, and progressing in through the electronic age while warehousing and distributing for the likes of Motorola, Zenith, and Sony. But then came a snag. With the increased popularity of direct interface between the manufacturer and the customer, and motorized over-the-road distribution, the need for big warehouse distributors sort of went the way of the dodo bird.
It was just about that time when maps got passed, and you could have blown me over with a feather when my best friend walked in from next door and said, "Jeff, you aren't going to believe this, but they want to build a river walk in front of our buildings." And I said, never happened. But indeed, it did happen, and since I didn't have another product line right at the moment, I thought, well, maybe this would be a good time to convert this old post and beam warehouse building to something different.
And that's exactly what Jeff did, converting the old building to accommodate retail and office space. Today, in addition to Hooters, there's a recruiter, there's an attorney's office, the water taxi home office, the Red Dirt Emporium, and myriad other activity, including a soon-to-be opened Coyote Ugly Lounge right here in Oklahoma City. It's all going on in this old post and beam constructed warehouse on the waterway. But perhaps the best thing about this old historic building is that Jeff Brown left some of its historical architecture intact. A lot of the post and beam structure is still exposed, along with a lot of the original wood floors and this old elevator shaft that harkens back to its earliest days. The old Miller-Jackson building has seen a lot of changes over the century, and thanks to its fourth generation owner Jeff Brown, it continues to change with the times. To read the print version of These Walls, the Miller-Jackson building, go to journalrecord.com and search These Walls.